Hello everyone, and welcome to another video from yours truly, Baphomet. And if you're wondering why I've got Age of Empires gameplay over the top, I think it's very relevant to this current video today, as some people even suspect that the Knights Templar are sort of basically the progenitors of Freemasonry, and which is who I'm playing right now, as you can see on the screen. And also because I used to play a lot of video games myself until I got into the mysteries. And I feel a big part of why we still play video games today is because we lack purpose. And that was a big reason why I was still doing it for the most part. But I want to bring other people who might still be stuck in that sort of place of lack of purpose and other things to actually follow their actual calling in life, and instead of wasting away like I did. Now, that's not to say that you can't ever play it, like you can't have fun playing it. Like, I would still play some, but I only usually restrict it to multiplayer fun games at this point. But even then, and also I think or try and focus your time on things like games that are more related to the occult. Like, I recommend anyone tries the Persona series or Shin Megami Tensei, Drowned God, Conspiracy of the Ages, and a bunch of other things. It's not like they can't be helpful. In fact, I think, in a way, the first time I heard the word hermetic, actually, it came from Sid Meier's Civilization 6 with the Secret Societies expansion. So I actually, in a sense, I actually owe video games to introducing me to the mysteries in the first place, and maybe I can, in a sense, return the favor. And that's what I hope to do today. So as the title says, there's a lot of talk about the idea of Freemasonry being evil, and bad and all that other kind of thing. Now, that's not to say that there aren't like these things called Black Brothers, which are basically people who are fully enlightened and realized beings, but they serve the darkness and they do horrible shit. Because enlightenment doesn't always make you a nice, cuddly, fluffy teddy bear who only wants to trip on acid all day. But in principle, this knowledge in itself is not evil. It just is, and the highest good is knowledge, and the highest evil is ignorance, as Socrates would put it. So, and I actually would tend to agree with that, because most people live in ignorance, and that's actually what's causing a lot of our suffering, frustrations, and what have you. So today, I'm actually just going to go through a part of of the first degree, the 12-inch rule and gavel and the common gavel, from the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. It's a collection of essays by Albert Pike. Fucking brilliant. It goes all the way up to the 32nd degree. So if you have any questions about Freemasonry, or you think that it's possibly, or you want to actually hear about it, go buy this book. And if you're curious as to how it got about, it was actually leaked. Somebody obviously got their hands on it and printed it out and distributed it to everyone. So, without further ado, let's begin. Force, unregulated or ill-regulated, is not only wasted in the void like that of gunpowder burnt in the open air, and steam unconfined by science, but striking in the dark, and its blows meeting only the air. They recoil and bruise itself. It is destruction and ruin. It is the volcano, the earthquake, the cyclone, not growth and progress. It is Polyphemus, blinded, striking at random, and falling headlong among the sharp rocks by the impetus of his own blows. The blind force of the people is a force that must be economized and also managed, as the blind force of steam, lifting the ponderous iron arms and turning the large wheels, is made to bore and rifle the cannon and to weave the most delicate lace. It must be regulated by intellect. Intellect is to the people and to the people's force what the slender needle of the compass is to the ship, its soul. Always cancelling the huge mass of wood and iron, and always pointing to the north. To attack the citadel built upon on all sides against the human race by superstitions, despotisms, and prejudices, the force must have a brain and a law. Then its deeds of daring produce similar produce permanent results, and there is real progress. Then there are sublime conquests. Thought is a force, and philosophy should be an energy, finding its aim and its effect in the amelioration of mankind. The two great motors are truth and love. When all these forces are combined and guided by the intellect and regulated by the rule of right and justice, and of combined and systematic movement and effort, the great revolution prepared for by the ages will begin to march. The power of the deity himself is in equilibrium with his wisdom, hence the only results are harmony. Now, I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound too evil to me. That just sounds correct. Doesn't sound like opinion, even. So I think this is another thing that people should probably try and get behind, is like try to understand what's opinion and what's fact. I think anyone can really hear that and say that's fact and then not opinion. Opinion and fact should not be conflated together. Ever. Anyway, I'm going to continue, and I will just do a little bit more, and hopefully I can maybe finish this one. I'll decide if, based on the feedback and how many people watch this video. Anyway, let's continue. It is because force is ill-regulated that revolutions prove failures. Therefore, it is that so often insurrections coming from those high mountains that domineer over the moral horizon, justice, wisdom, reason, right, built off the purest snow of the ideal after a long fall from rock to rock, having reflected the sky in their transparency and been swollen by 100 affluents in the majestic path of triumph, suddenly lose themselves in quagmires, like a California river in the sands. The onward march of the human race requires that the heights around it should blaze with noble and enduring lessons of courage. Deeds of daring dazzle history, and form one class of the guiding lights of man. They are the stars and the coruscations from that great sea of electricity, the force inherent in the people, to strive, to brave all risks, to perish, to persevere, to be true to oneself, to grapple body to body with destiny, to surprise defeat by the little terror it inspires. Now to confront a righteous power, now to defy intoxicated triumph. These are the examples that the nations need and the light that electrifies them. Now, especially the part, deeds of daring dazzle his history. We all know, we all love a good story, don't we? Like of conquerors, Julius Caesar escaping from his captives, Genghis Khan, how he conquered half the world. Alexander of Macedonia. Yeah, Alexander the Great. We all get inspired by those things, and I think that's actually a real reason why we look at it, because we understand the courage and the aptitude that it really takes to pull off such feats, for better and for worse. So that is a big part of it. And it electrifies us when we hear about it. Now, I am going to continue a little bit more, and then I might wrap it up, because I want to try and keep these videos a bit shorter. There are immense forces in the great caverns of evil beneath society, in the hidden degradation, squalor, wretchedness, and destitution, vices and crimes that reek and simmer in the darkness in that populace below the people of great cities. Their disinterestedness vanishes. Everyone howls, searches, gropes, and gnaws for himself. Ideas are ignored, and of the progress there is no thought. This populace has two mothers, both of them stepmothers, ignorance and misery. Want is their only guide. For the appetite alone, they crave satisfaction. This is very reflective of not just my life, but many other people's life in modern society, as you can probably attest, and you know it's true. Want is their only guide. For the appetite alone, they crave satisfaction. Yet even these may be employed. The lowly sand we trample upon, cast into the furnace, melted, purified by fire, may become resplendent crystal. They have the brute force of the hammer, but their blows help on the great cause. When struck within the lines, traced by the rule, held by wisdom and discretion. It is this very force of the people, this titanic power of the giants, that builds the fortifications of tyrants and is bodied with their armies. Hence, the possibility of such tyrannies are as those of which has been said, that Rome smells worse under Vitellius than under Sulla, under Claudius, and under Domitian, there is a deformity of basis corresponding to the ugliness of the tyranny. The foulness of the slaves is a direct result of the atrocious baseness of the despot. Can you listen to that last part? Hold on. Where is it? The foulness of the slaves is a direct result of the atrocious baseness of the despot. Think about that for a second. Why do you think everyone that we come across, like especially when we talk about Western society, like everyone's obese, everyone's sort of retarded, they've got that fluoride stare in them, they're wandering aimlessly, and it's a direct result of how our leaders actually have guided us. It's essentially as above, so below. And I'm going to say that one more time. The foulness of the slaves is a direct result of the atrocious baseness of the despot. And this can also apply to things such as religion too, if we're talking about how certain things happen, amongst other things. I'm not going to go into it, but you understand. I'm sure you understand after that. Say that one more time. The foulness of the slaves is a direct result of the atrocious baseness of the despot. Hearing that phrase alone, you should not need any political ruler ever again. All right. I'm going to finish this paragraph here. So, a miasma exhales from these crouching consciences that reflect the master. The public authorities are unclean. Hearts are collapsed. Consciences shrunken. Souls puny. They are so under Caracalla, it is so under Commodus, it is so under Heliogabalus, while from the Roman Senate under Caesar, there comes only the rank odor peculiar to the eagle's eyrie. It is the force of the people that sustains all these despotisms. There you go again. It's not power, it's sustaining power itself, it's the below, not sustaining all of our shit political systems, the people. Is a force that sustains all these despotisms, the basis as well as the best. That force acts through armies, and these oftener enslave than liberate. Despotism there applies the rule. Force is the mace of steel at the saddlebow of the knight of the bishop in armor. Passive obedience by force supports thrones and oligarchies. Spanish knights and a Venetian senate. Might in an army wielded by tyranny is the enormous sum total of utter weakness. And so humanity wages war against humanity in despite of humanity. So our people willingly submit to despotism, and its workmen submit to be despised and its soldiers to be whipped. Therefore, it is that battles lost by a nation are often progress attained. Less glory is more liberty when the drum of silent reason sometimes speaks. Man. I mean, guys, this is just the first couple of essays. I mean, this is just the first essay of the first degree. And I don't know, there's a lot to unpack there, and I'm not even done. But I am actually going to finish it there today. And I think people should really think about what they heard there, because you'll notice if you get the Morals and Dogma book yourself, it talks a lot about despotism and rule of law and power. And I think maybe this is important. As much as I hate to really talk about politics, and I really don't really want to discuss ideologies, especially, or like which president is shit or what have you, it's important that we do actually engage in politics a bit more, as much as I fucking hate doing it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this first podcast with AOE4 in the background. And hopefully I've brought in some more gamers in the process into the fold, because gamers, we need to rise up. Anyway, please like, share, and subscribe to the Yours Truly Baphomet YouTube channel, and I will see you guys later.